Hello, I am Nick, and I read the book On the Beach by Neville Shute, and it is shown right over there. So basically, On the Beach is set in a setting after World War III, in which nuclear war destroyed the northern hemisphere, and there is a cloud of radioactive dust that is slowly drifting south, and eventually, and they predict in less than a year, it will reach those living in southern Australia, which is the last living civilization of the human race. Now, on the boat follows the main character, Peter Holmes, who is a lieutenant commander in the Australian Navy, and it basically follows a few missions that they go on to see if there's any hope of survival. So, On the Beach presents an apocalypse pretty literally. The apocalypse being that in 6 months, death, a wave of literal death, will be coming to kill everybody in Australia. So that is the apocalypse part of the book. And really what this book reveals about human nature is that humans are the creators of their own demise. There is an ultimate self-destruction because, as we can see throughout the book, many of the characters look towards suicide before the wave of radiation comes to kill them. They'd rather kill themselves rather than have the fate of the world kill them. And about nature of the universe, it is portrayed through this apocalypse mainly through the fact that really saying that death is eventually going to come, but unfortunately in the case of the On the Beach, it is in 6 months, but in the case of the real world, it might be in 60 years just due to natural causes, or who knows, nuclear war, just as it happens in the book. So one of the biggest conflicts that can be seen in the book On the Beach is the conflict between whether or not the characters should kill themselves before they are killed by the radiation. Now, going further into this example, most directly to Peter Holmes, our really main character, his really big conflict is whether or not he wants to take responsibility for killing his newborn child with a deadly pill, so that baby does not have to suffer the fate of the wave of radiation. Now, this conflict really does help portray the idea of an apocalypse, because it's a literal decision between life or death, and having to take that responsibility onto oneself, deciding whether or not someone else lives or dies, knowing that immediate doom is on the way, is a very hard choice, and it is a very apocalyptic idea. A prominent symbol within On the Beach is the radio signal that they receive from Seattle. Now, this radio signal from the beginning is really the sole inspiration of hope to everybody that knows about it in Australia. It is really the last hope that they have that other civilization has survived and possibly can survive farther after the wave of radiation. However, as we see that as the book progresses, this is not a really real radio signal, and it really just dies out, and it just symbolizes how the hope, and it eventually ends in a meaningless voice of the dying human race. I think I would recommend this book to someone because it really portrays a true apocalypse. The reader knows the whole time that an impending doom is coming. So there's that really stressful feeling of how you know that the characters that you begin to connect with and admire are going to die from an impending doom that is coming to them closer day by day. So overall, I enjoyed this book and I would recommend it.